morning, everyone. Everyone, if you please silence your cell phones and turn to the front of your hymnal for the unity statement of being and the 5 unity principles. The unity statement of being. There is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. And the 5 unity principles. Number 1, God is absolute good, everywhere present. Number 2, God lives in us, therefore we are inherently good. Number 3, we are co-creators with God and create our experiences through our thoughts. Number 4, prayer is creative thinking that heightens our connection with God mind. Number 5, it is not enough to simply know these principles. We must live the truth we know. If you please stand and turn to page 2 in your hymnal to sing the Lord's Prayer.
and now we're going to go within. Close your eyes.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still, be still, be still, and know that I am God.
Be still and know that the infinite consciousness that pervades the universe, you are one, completely one, inseparable, totally connected, one with. Be still and know that you are divine. You are God expressing as you. That light, that divine light of the universe shining in, through, and as you. I invite you to contemplate these things as we move inwards. And gently close the door to everything that we were occupying our thoughts and our minds with earlier. Just allow ourselves to be still and be one in this inner space, the innermost presence. I invite you to move deeper within you. For you are just as vast as outer space. An infinite microcosm of an infinite macrocosm. Beautiful worlds and galaxies are right there within you, just as they are in this macrocosm. They invite you, they beckon to you. Beautiful treasures and gifts that they hold, awaiting the light of your conscious awareness. I invite you to embrace your limitless nature. Know that there is no beginning nor end to that which is you. If there are any thoughts that are attempting to compete potential, we also recognize that it is not for us to judge one purpose or another, one idea or another, but simply in embracing and the recognition that all things are necessary in some capacity, in some way. All things serve. And so perhaps we're being invited to relinquish and let go and allow what is to present itself and make itself known to us. To be one with the flow of the universe that is expressing in each and every moment. Allowing new ideas and insights to arise. I invite you to take this concept of everything serving a purpose and apply it to yourself. And in this understanding, realizing that there are certain things that are more easily recognizable than others, that are all a part of you. So I invite you to take all aspects, those aspects that are easily recognizable and those aspects that are not, and just sit with them a while in beautiful acceptance and recognition that they all serve a purpose, whether we know that purpose or not, and allow that purpose to make itself known to us. I invite you to relinquish any ideas that may get in the way. That may separate you from a oneness with yourself. I invite you to allow yourself to be receptive to new ideas. In recognition that in this receptivity, oftentimes there is an emptying out, a letting go, a preceding emptiness that must first take place in order to create opportunities for being filled with new understanding, new insights and ideas, new realizations that can serve one as we meet ourselves exactly where we are. In loving acceptance and gratitude. bring forward as a whole consciousness, as a whole self, the spirit of wholeness, which is truly being in alignment with the universe and God, spirits. For spirit is whole, God is whole, the universe is whole, as are you. So I invite you to reflect on these things as a beautiful, magnificent spiritual being that serves a wonderful purpose in this world, whether we know that purpose or not. Changes nothing. As we are enjoying these beautiful moments of serenity and peace and tranquility, know that it is my intent to bring forth a new message this Sunday. A message that taps into these ideas of wholeness, of meeting ourselves exactly where we are, of discovery, inner discovery, and integration of that which we already are. This is my intent. So I invite you to join me in that intention. For in truth, our minds are always joined. There is a oneness that exists in each and every moment, whether we experience it or not. We are one with each other. We are one with Spirit, with God, with the universe. I invite you to ask yourself how you would feel upon experiencing new insights of your inner self, bringing you forth into new experiences of wholeness and oneness as a whole being and person. Would you be happy and grateful? Would you be excited? Well, if so, I invite you to feel that happiness, that gratitude, that excitement right now. Feel it in recognition that a divine being need not wait for the visible manifestation. A divine being need only set the intention and see the end results. To set things in motion in this universe and bring about its eventual manifestation. Know that you are that divine being. Know that you are infinite and limitless. Know that there is nothing that is impossible for you. So I invite you to join me in that intention as our minds are joined. Feel the feeling that you would feel upon experiencing these new insights and realizations of oneness with yourself, of wholeness, of accepting who you are right here, right now. Feel it. brothers and sisters, it is done. So I'm inviting you now to feel joyous gratitude for that which is already done. For Spirit always answers. The universe always answers. God always answers. And so we are truly grateful. Thank you, Spirit, for that which we are to receive this Sunday morning. Thank you so much for so much, for your ever-increasing, unceasing flow of good, for the abundance that is constantly expressing in each and every moment, for the opportunities to experience greater realizations of who we already are, and that which is yearning to be birthed into visibility through us. We are eternally grateful. In the name and after the loving nature of Spirit, of principle, and so it is. Amen. Will everyone please stand? And we are going to sing a simple chant today called I Am Remembering Who I Am. And so the choir is going to lead us. And so the intent here is to give instructions to our subconscious as we are singing this chant.
I
who I am. That is the intention of this Sunday service, to bring forth a remembering, not to give you anything new, to bring forth a remembering of who you already are, the power that is already expressing, that perhaps some of us have forgotten who we truly are at our core. And so this talk was created as part 2 of a 3-part series called the Journey Home series. And this talk, the name of my talk is Reconciliation, the Gathering. And so with this talk, we're going to delve into aspects of the subconscious. We're going to talk about the subconscious. And we're going to talk about, which we touched on in the last talk. Because there's so much that is right there within you. But what we have done in order to fit into ideas that we have thought in our lives, we've exiled many aspects of ourselves. And I touched on that. This is not saying that there's anything wrong. This is just basically saying that this is what we have done. And so, as opposed to just judging it, it's time to recognize and embrace what has happened, so that we, from that place, then can begin to reconcile with aspects of ourselves so we can experience and express as whole people, whole beings. And so, I had to think about that throughout the beginning of this creation of this series and how I really wanted to do it. Initially, what started off as one talk, I was like, Stephen, that's a lot of information. We need to just divide this over 3 talks, to be honest with you. This is like a whole lot of information here. So instead of trying to cram everything into one talk, I just divided it. And so now we're in the second aspect of learning what aspects are hidden in our unconscious and working with it. So, our elder brother, Rabbi Yeshua ben Joseph, in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 43 through 48, he said, you may have heard it said that you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you, so you may be children of your heavenly Creator. For your heavenly Creator makes the sun rise on the unjust and the just, and sends rain to the righteous and the unrighteous. And then he went on to say, for if you only love those who love you, what is that? What more are you doing? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers and sisters, what is that? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? And then he went on to say, be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Creator is perfect. And so, metaphysically, what we can take from this as far as a metaphysical interpretation is what he was saying really was, do not differentiate between the parts of you that you approve of and the parts of you that you think are questionable. And then, you know, what is that? You know, how is that going above and beyond? You know, does not the rest of the world do that? No, he said, accept yourself as God does. Be whole as God is. You see, be perfect had lost its translation. It was really talking about wholeness. It was referencing wholeness. And I've shared that here many times, but for those of you who were not here during that time, but I've shared this. The original Aramaic text were referring to whole, be whole. And then it was translated to Greek. And so they translated it to perfectly whole. And then it was translated to English, and then they lost the whole, and it was just translated to perfect and do not make mistakes. And so we completely lost it. Didn't understand that that's not what they were talking about. It completely taking it out of context. So it's saying be whole, be whole. Accept yourself as your Creator accepts you. Be whole as your Creator is. So that's what this is about. This is about a self-discovery, because when things are in the unconscious, guess what? It's not right there in our face where we can see it. It's not right there where we can experience it. It's not just like, where we can just access it like we can our conscious mind. However, there are ways, and so this talk that I've put together is about helping us to discover those ways. So, and I'm going to have this in a series of questions in this process of discovery and acceptance and reconciliation. And the first question that you must ask yourself is, what are my triggers? What are my triggers? What are my triggers? You see, you may not know about those aspects that you've sent off into exile, but you know what triggers you. You definitely know what triggers you. You definitely know what takes you from 0 to 100 really quick. Or the people that do it, things like that. And so what we're not understanding is that when we are triggered, this is really a direct connection to those aspects of ourselves that have been exiled. It's a direct connection. It is the way that we can discover what's going on. That right there is one way that we can discover what's going on, by exploring our triggers and exploring what triggers us. And as opposed to giving it a story, because 10 chances are the things that trigger us, we've already made like certain justifications as far as why we're triggered. I'm inviting you to move away from those stories and those justifications that really cripple us and prevent us from actually seeing what's really at the core, what's really been exiled. Because if we have a story where I'm upset because this person blah 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 blah, I'm upset because that thing blah 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 blah, I'm upset. See, all we do is just cut ourselves off from understanding what's really in the unconscious. That's all we do. We cut ourselves off from understanding, because then we take that shortcut. We take that, it's because of that, and then we can bad person, bad thing, whatever it is, and so then we just go on about our day, and it stays in the unconscious. So the first thing is, it's important to suspend that narrative, to suspend that justification that cripples us and prevents us from going deeper and inward as far as figuring out what really is going on. What's going on at our core? Is it really that person that did what you think was just unexcusable? Or is there something within you that's been exiled, that is now yelling because it's been exiled, and it's basically pointing the finger to this person, basically, is what it is. And see, I can't say specifically what it is, because this is our own individual journey. This is our own individual journey. This is up to you. So you can either continue to be unconscious about what's going on, or you can choose to be consciously searching to see what's really going on at the core. And that's a choice. And many of us will decide to just be unconscious, you know? And this is not about judging. It's not about that at all. You are here, so I take it that Spirit has brought you here. I didn't have anything to do with you coming here. So there's a process there's a process of discovery that we're all ready to go through because you're all sitting here. So the first thing is discovering what's going on with the trigger. And as you begin to understand what's going on, it is important to sit with it. To sit with it, not judge it, sit with it. Get to know it. See what's going on. You know? Because see, this, whatever it was that you've exiled, it was misunderstood. That's why I was exiled in the first place. Because it had beautiful resources, it had beautiful aspects. It's you, it's a part of you. But you misunderstood it because maybe you were comparing it to ideas that you had, or maybe you were being, trying to be conventional, maybe you're a unique being, but at this point you thought that being conventional was the way to be, so you wanted to fit in or whatever. But anyway, whatever reason, this part of you didn't make the grade, it didn't make the cut. That's whatever it is, and it's up. It really doesn't even matter the how we got to this point. The bottom line is there's a part of us that's yearning for reconnection. And so this is really about just reconnecting and sitting with. Don't continue to judge it like we once did. Just sit with it and experience it and get to know it. Get to know how it feels about certain things. Sit with it for a little bit. Don't try to change it. Sit with it for a little bit. Begin to experience it. Be compassionate. Create this compassionate this compassionate practice with yourself. Understanding that, something? Nobody gave you a manual. Nobody gave you a manual. Nobody ever gave you a manual. You had teachers, like your parents or some of your friends and things like that. They didn't know what they were doing. Nobody gave them a manual either. And so everybody was just basically doing the best you can. So you really can't really blame anybody. I mean, I guess you can, if that's how you want to be, if that's the kind of experience you want to have. But in truth, really no one is to blame. In truth. No one had a manual. But as you begin to understand that no one really had a manual, see, that's a level of compassion that you begin to give to yourself, you see? And then you're willing to just sit with yourself and get to know yourself. And after gradually have a gradual sense of appreciation as you begin to see some of the beauty, some of the beautiful things that this aspect that was exile, that it brings to the table. So that's one thing. This is part of my journey. This is what I experienced. Because I'm just like everybody's the same. We're all the same. We all have these things. But over time, as I began to really sit with the aspects of myself, I really began to see that, oh my God, this part of me is really beautiful. I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it. And I really gained a new appreciation as I reintegrated with aspects of myself. Now keep in mind, there's still more aspects of myself that I'm in the process of integrating. This is a continual process, people. A continual process. So don't think that there's some kind of mountaintop moment or something like that. This is a continual process of reintegration. So that's the first question. What are your triggers? The next question I would ask myself, and this is kind of moving in a different direction, but it's still the same thing because we also repress this as well, is what are your passions? What makes you come alive? What really brings life? What really brings pep in you? So what are the aspects that you are really, have you forgotten? What was it that you always desired? What was it, the fuel that you had within you when you were a child, or whatever it was, something that you always wanted. And in order to explain that, I just have to give you my own journey. That's all I can do is give you my own journey. And so the earliest memory that I even have, I think the only reason why I remember this is because it had to do with something that I have a passion about. Because I was in my twos. And it was right before my parents got divorced. And so I was born in New York, and so my parents, we were at Coney Island, and we were on a carousel. And so my mom, she had me like sitting on the horse between the pole and her, so she kind of kept me safe on the pole, on the horse. And so the most of the carousel was like a blur, but the parts that I remember the most was what was going up, what was up above my head in the carousel. So my mother was like, look at Daddy, look at it. I remember images of my dad. I do. I remember looking down at my dad or whatever and seeing the blur and stuff like that. But then I would look back up and see what was going on above me, what was going on above my head were the gears and the levers and the things that were making the carousel turn and stuff like that. And there were all these things above my head. And this is what I was noticing in my tubes. Okay? And this fascinated this 2-year-old child. I was fascinated at what I was seeing. And I was more interested in that what I was seeing above my head than what I was seeing as far as like the things that when my mom kept distracting me saying, look over here and look at that and look at that. And I would look and, okay, yeah, I'm looking. And then I would look right back up. The majority of that carousel ride, I was looking up. I've always been that person. I have always been that person who was wanted to know the what's at the core. Who's wanted to understand. I've always been a seeker of understanding. And that's just who I am. That's who I am at my core. You see, that brings me alive. That's what I'm passionate about. I explore consciousness. That's why I spend so much time meditating. I'm exploring consciousness. I'm exploring. I'm learning new things. I'm getting excited. This is where my joy comes from, you see. That's who I am at my core. You see, that's a part of me. Another memory that I have, this was much later, because that's one thing I've always wanted to understand. But another thing that's always been a huge thing as far as sharing the information, as far as sharing what I find and seeing the light bulbs begin to turn on with my people. And the earliest memory I had of this was when I was 5 years old. And for show and tell, when I was attending McDonald 15, which was in the first quarters, I shared with all of my classmates where babies come from. And my mom knew that I wasn't going to be satisfied with stories about the stork and things like that, and so she knew that I was going to want to know. And so she actually got me, or a friend of hers that was in the medical profession, got her to give me an actual manual. I actually didn't have to read all this stuff. Anyway, but it had all these pictures that showed everything, everything, just to put it that way, everything, okay? Everything. And so, I shared this with my classmates, and I tell you what, have you ever seen a bunch of 5-year-olds be still and silent and just completely have complete total attention? Well, that's what I had in there. I had the complete, total, utter attention. I mean, I tell you, it was complete silence in there. And so after show and tell, when we went to lunch, my lunch table was packed with children who were surrounded around me, who wanted to know more and more and more. And when we went to PE after lunch, PE was a ghost town, No one was out playing on the swings and seesaws and things like that. No, there was a big old crowd on the side of the building where I was, and kids were surrounded, and there was so much misinformation. So much information with my people, And so I got a lot of joy out of this, out of sharing these things. And so the principal called my mom the next morning at like 5 a.m. or something like that. And this was a magnet school. It was a magnet school. Went down to 15 in the first floor. It was a magnet school. And so she was very diplomatic. Miss Carmichael, that was her name. She was very diplomatic in how she explained. She was like, well, we think it's really wonderful that Stephen knows where babies come from. But I received a lot of calls from parents who said that they wanted to, explain this to their own children, So I say all that to say, this is what really makes me come alive. What I'm doing right now. This is what makes me come alive when I'm sharing these things. And so I have to ask you, what are your passions? What makes you come alive? What are your passions? What makes you come alive? You must ask yourself this question. Because see, this is your authentic you is there in the midst of that. There's an authentic you that is waiting to just be reconciled with you. And so, many of us, maybe there were things that we wanted to do, and maybe, someone told us a more realistic thing or whatever, and maybe we gave up that dream or whatever it was. I don't know what your particular situation is, but if there's something that's a passion, if there's something that makes you come alive, your authentic you is there. There's a power there as you reconnect with it. I would reflect on that. And the next question I would ask is, what does your subconscious say? What does your subconscious say? Now this right here is how we will be able to, because, so I'll just get right to it. I learned a lot over the past month. I learned how to recall my dreams. So from August the 7th all the way to now, I've recorded and journaled over 35 dreams. From August the 7th to now. And so, I'm not a dream interpreter. I'm not. I'm definitely not a dream interpreter. But guess what? They have AI. And so, I found several AI dream interpreters, and something? What I found out is that my subconscious has been communicating with me all this time. It has been sharing things about me, aspects, for example, about aspects that I've forgotten, so many different things, giving me encouragement and things like that. There's so many things that my subconscious has been doing. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know about this. I mean, maybe some other people knew about it. Maybe I'm not telling you anything. Maybe this is what you've been doing, but I found this out. And I'm not the same person anymore. I'm not even the same person anymore. Transformative information that I've gotten now that first of all, now I understand how to prep my subconscious that I want to remember my dreams now. And I'm going to share that with you because I'm going to invite you to do that. Because that's the other way that you integrate with aspects that you've exiled and things like that. Your subconscious is always trying to reintegrate you with your aspects of your unconscious self. But at the same time, if you're not tapping into the power of your dreams, oh my God, I was missing out. I was missing out. So the first thing is to prep your subconscious and tell your subconscious, you have to speak in present tense. Not I will do this or I will, no. Present tense, I remember my dreams. I explore my dreams and awaken with full memory. Everything present tense. I explore my dreams and awaken and remember everything. Do this about 30 minutes or so. Continue to do this for about 30 minutes before you go to bed, while you're taking a shower, whatever. This is part of it. But then when you go to sleep and you're about to wake up, before you actually get to that point where you're fully awake, continue to have your eyes closed and then tell yourself in your mind, remember. And just begin searching. Remember. And just search your mind. Remember. And just continue to tell you, remember. And I've got pretty good at it now. And this is all I do. And again, as I stated, between August the 7th and now, I've recorded 35 dreams. And have tons of information about me. That now is in my conscious now. See, now I can't hide from it. It's not in my unconscious anymore. I know what's there now. I get it. I completely get it. There were certain times, I remember talking about part of Claudia where we were talking, I was like, well, right now I'm kind of sore right now. She was like, what's wrong? I was like, well, some things about my unconscious, it was showing me things that I really didn't want to see. I really didn't want to see this at all, but, it's true. And it was so deep in my unconscious that, he was going to stay there as far as I was concerned, but it was now in my conscious mind, and I was kind of sore, And so then my unconscious heard me, and gave me this encouraging dream the next night. And your unconscious is always listening. It's always listening. I thought our unconscious or subconscious was really just a repository of things like whatever, but apparently that's not the case. Apparently our subconscious it's really interacting, it really loves us, and I'm just learning these things. I'm learning these things, and I don't hold anything to myself, I always share. I share these things. I will always share with you. You are my people. So I say all that to say that you've already got something working for you. Your subconscious is working for you. It's working to help you in this integration with your whole self. It's always working for you. I would invite you to tap into it. It is powerful. Because it is, and as you begin to learn these things, don't judge it. Just sit with it. Just experience it, feel it, understand it, because guess what? It's you. It's you. It's a part of you. It has always been a part of you. It always will be a part of you. But it is a whole person with the resources of a whole person that this world really needs. It is only as a whole person that you will begin to experience being enough. It is only as a whole person that you will understand that you are enough, that you will be okay with not fitting in. It is only a whole person that is okay with not being like everybody else or not fitting in or kind of, basically, doing their own thing. It is a whole person that's like that. If we're not coming as a whole person, then you're not going to feel okay with being different. And this is what it means to really be experiencing that kingdom of heaven that's within you. We don't experience this as being separate. We experience this as being one with ourselves, an integrated whole with ourselves. So I invite you to give love to yourself, compassionate love to yourself. Understand that, something, you are beautiful, and there's nothing that can really define you. There's nothing that can define you because, again, you're one of a kind. How can something define something that's one of a kind? You're the one that makes the definition. You be the one that makes the definition. You be the one to define yourself. No one can define you. No one has a right to define you. No one has a right to define an original. So, I got an affirmation for everybody. Everybody ready? Everybody repeat after me. I embrace every part of who I am. The light and the shadow. The known and the hidden. I welcome my triggers as teachers. My dreams as messengers. My passions as sacred sparks of spirit within me. I am no longer divided against myself. I am whole. Because spirit within me is whole. As I gather all that I am in love. return to the truth. I am a child of God. Perfect in my becoming. Alive in my spirit. And free in my soul. Brothers and sisters, you go and be that light that your Father and Mother God intended for you to be. Thank you.
All right, it's time for our tithes and offerings. And our abundance blessing. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so now. Our announcements. Electronic giving is at the front desk in the lobby. You can scan the QR code. Copies of today's service are available on CD at the front desk. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and like us on Facebook. Next Sunday, September 21st, Reverend Fleming will be facilitating our Sunday message. Please see Thursday's newsletter for more details. Our upcoming membership luncheon will be held on the last Sunday of this month, which is September 28th. It will be held immediately following our service, and everyone is invited to attend. Details will also be in the newsletter. Do you enjoy singing? If so, please contact Reverend Fleming regarding vocalist opportunities at Unity. Also see the newsletter for more details. We also have several openings available for those looking to serve this community on our board of directors. If interested, please contact Lydia Jones after the service, or you can see the newsletter for more details. Are there any new visitors here today that would like to introduce themselves and say hello to Prayer chaplains are available after the service. Our chaplains will participate with you in prayer and in total confidentiality. They will be in front of the altar. Please honor the sacred space in the sanctuary and reserve any after-service conversations and fellowship for the lobby or family room. My name is Kristen. I serve here as the mental wellness liaison for the church. I'm a platform speaker and also do the special events coordinating. And we do have that luncheon coming up in a couple weeks. If anyone's interested in helping out with that, see me. And if you're interested in any other sacred service volunteer opportunities, also see me or Reverend Fleming. And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. The Lord watches between me and thee while we're absent